Press him. Press him. Press him. Yeah, buddy. Press him. Get that bad guy. Get that bad guy. Let me see your hands. Press him. Press him. Yeah, buddy. Get that bad guy. Stop resisting. Yeah, buddy. Get that bad guy. Stop fighting.
Stop fighting me, mother.
Yeah, buddy. Press him. Yeah, buddy. You get that bad guy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, buddy. Come get it. Go hands on.
Got it. Get his arm.
Don't fight no more.
Let go.
Right behind
you. Coming up behind you.
He's grabbing my arm.
Coming up behind you.
Stop resisting. Just fucking relax.
One on. I got one on. Pull him.
I'm trying.
You got his shirt. Just rip his shirt off. You're off his arm. Yep, you're off his arm.
I think it is.
There you go.
Umbrella. She's up. Whole nother level of shit you can't
What
understand.
is good, my people? We are live back again with another episode of The Forecast. So we need to talk about where black people fit in on the Bill of Rights and especially the Second Amendment. Now, we talk a lot about unarmed black men who get murdered by the cops, but we haven't even begun to address the armed black men who were murdered by the cops.
Now, Officer Zachary Rosen was one of two Columbus police officers involved in the deadly shooting of Henry Green in June of last year. Green was shot on June 6, the first day of the Summer Safety Initiative in the South Linden area. Police say Green was walking down the street holding a gun when two plainclothes police officers, Zachary Rosen and Jason Baer, approached him. Police say the officers identified themselves and told him to drop the gun, but Green refused to do so and shot at them. Both officers opened fire and Green was killed. Detectives determined that Green shot 6 times, Officer Rosen fired 15 shots, and Officer Baer fired 6 times, but it's not clear who fired first. A grand jury decided to not criminally charge the officers in the shooting. The shooting and the grand jury's decision sparked protests here in Columbus. Tonight, NBC4 got the investigative file concerning that shooting. Sean Lanier has looked through those records and the videos of the investigation. He's live at the Watch 4 alert desk now with what he's found. Sean?
Well, Colleen, we got our hands on these files right here, the files for Henry Green's case, and we looked through the witness statements that were made. While many of them say they only heard gunshots and saw the aftermath, a few claimed that they saw and heard everything that happened that day. We are not identifying the witnesses, but we are sharing the statements they made to Columbus police.
Did you hear him say police or anything like that?
No police, none of that.
This witness says he was walking with Henry Green, his friend, right before two plainclothes officers shot and killed Green on June 6 of 2016. The witness claims he never heard police identify themselves as officers before they opened fire. Other witnesses claimed the same thing. One person nearby says they heard the officer say, quote, "You want to play with guns?" Another says he heard an officer yelling, quote, "Don't do it, don't do it." One of the plainclothes officers, Zachary Rosen, says he did identify himself, and according to his statement to detectives, it might have been him yelling, "Don't do it."
As soon as I exited the vehicle, I know I yelled police. I'm 100% sure of that. Ordering the individual not to move. I'm not 100% sure if I said don't move, don't do it, stop.
The other plainclothes officer, Jason Baer, backs Officer Roten's statement that they both yelled and identified themselves as police.
On page number 2 of your statement near the bottom, you stated, quote, "I was yelling police." How certain are you that you yelled the word police?
Certain.
And are you certain you heard Officer Rosen also yelling police?
Yes.
Some witnesses also told detectives they saw the two plainclothes officers with their badges on their chest after they exited the car, and then they knew that these were undercover officers.
Don't know white boy got no gun like that. Don't know white boy dressed like that in a car like that.
A lawyer representing Green's family said surviving relatives still don't understand why the grand jury didn't bring charges against the officers. He says the family does not feel justice has been served.
But situations like Philando Castile and Kareem Jones just proves that our Second Amendment rights aren't respected. They don't apply to black people. So God forbid you have a gun. Now, let's look at the Second Amendment in the Constitution. It says, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. Being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So here we even have the framers of the country, of the Constitution, saying they understand how important it is for the people to keep and bear arms for the security of a free state. Yet, there has never been a point in history where black people right to bear arms was not infringed upon, because they understand how important that is to the security of your state, to the security of your nation. And when you talk about gun control, whose guns are they really controlling? And we know when the Bill of Rights was introduced in 1791 that black people are considered property. They're 3/5 of humans at least. And this being the case that black people are 3/5 humans, there are no rights or laws that a white person is bound to respect from a black person. Which then later we found out to be the truth in the Dred Scott decision in 1857, where they said on record, as case law, that there are no laws or rights that a white person is bound to respect.
Hi, welcome to ANN News. I'm Edward Softwater, bringing you the latest developments in the move towards the end of slavery in the United States on today, March 5th, 1857. Our next guest has been fighting to abolish slavery in the courts for 11 years. Welcome to our show, Dred Scott, for what we will hope will be the most sensational court case ever to come before the Supreme Court.
Hello, how are you today?
Hello.
Well, I don't know about sensational, but I'm just fighting for freedom for myself and my family.
Right, right. Would you mind telling our TV audience what you feel are the most important issues in this case?
Sure. There are three important issues that we're focusing in on. The first one is Negro citizenship, which I feel I'm entitled to under the Constitution, particularly under Article 3, which protects all citizens. The second most important reason is I feel I should be free because I've been moved to free soil.
Okay. Well, for our TV audience, would you mind letting us know what you mean by free soil?
What I mean by free soil is my owner, Dr. Emerson, was transferred to the state of Illinois to a base there because the Army needed more doctors. As you know, Illinois it prohibits slavery.
Right.
So after a short while there, my owner, Dr. Emerson, fell gravely ill, and the Army then transferred him to Fort Snelling in Wisconsin. Wisconsin has been a free state since the beginning of this country.
Right, right. Well, thank you. What is the third reason or issue?
Finally, my lawyer has advised me that the Missouri Compromise and the Northwest Ordinance, both federal laws, prohibit slavery in the Northern Territories.
Okay. Well, besides the legal or technical issues, what are your personal feelings on this matter?
Well, I feel, as a person, I cannot be denied the right to life, liberty, or property without the due process of law. And furthermore, the Declaration of Independence states that we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. All men, not just some men.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on to our show.
Thank you, sir.
We appreciate it. I understand you have a wife, Harriet, and 2 little girls. Is that right?
Yes, I do.
What are their names?
Eliza and Lizzie.
Eliza and Lizzie. And how old are they?
Eliza is 19 and Lizzie is 9.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, we wish you the best, and
Thank you.
I hope that you and your family are able to stay together.
Thank you very much.
That's it for today. I'm Edward Softwater. We'll be right back after these messages.
And by the way, I still haven't read anything or saw anything that said black people are no longer inferior in the eyes of the law, so therefore white people are bound to respect it. I haven't seen anything that says black people are no longer 3/5 of a human. And I haven't seen any case that would overturn the Dred Scott decision in a court of law. So the question is, are we still considered 3/5 humans? Or is the Dred Scott decision still in effect? And you'll hear a lot of people say that no, of course not. It's not in effect anymore. But, you know, words and actions are two different things. Because the irony is, after the 13th Amendment in 1865, whenever it was really passed, a couple years later, the NRA is established.
They use their media to assassinate real news. They use their schools to teach children that their president is another Hitler. They use their movie stars and singers and comedy shows and award shows to repeat their narrative over and over again. And then they use their ex-president to endorse the resistance, all to make them march, make them protest, make them scream racism and sexism and xenophobia and homophobia, to smash windows, burn cars, shut down interstates and airports, bully and terrorize the law-abiding, until the only option left is for the police to do their jobs and stop the madness. And when that happens, they'll use it as an excuse for their outrage. The only way we stop this, the only way we save our country and our freedom, is to fight this violence of lies with the clenched fist of truth. I'm the National Rifle Association of America, and I'm freedom's safest place.
And originally, the NRA was for gun control. Why? Because if Negroes was considered of the people now, then their right to bear arms could not be infringed upon. But, you know, back then it was easier. They could just pass black codes and say, well, black people can't have guns, but white people can have guns. No other immigrant but white immigrants can have guns to protect ourselves. Because obviously these black people are going to want revenge. But they were able to pass these black codes up until, like, what, Civil Rights Act in 1964. You know, when you look into it, maybe Brown versus the Board of Education, maybe. And all they really did was just stop writing it into law and just making race-neutral laws, but implying it different ways. And having stricter rules for one group of people and the other group of people. The NRA is pro-guns. They think America should keep their guns. But all through history, they have been silent when it came to the issue of black people's right to bear arms being infringed upon. They were one of the first groups infringing upon their rights. But, you know, during the 1920s, let a bunch of black people with guns show up, and they're going to try to burn your whole town down. In the 40s and 50s, they're going to kill you, burn your house down. When the Black Panthers came together and started teaching people about their right to bear arms, we see how fast those laws changed. They have no issues getting those gun control laws passed then. NRA ain't say a word. California is no longer an open carry state because of the Black Panthers. And when they talk about these gun control laws, they don't mean that their people aren't going to have guns. They don't mean the army, the police, they going to be having guns around you. That don't mean they going to stop investing their money into the military and building weapons. It just means you ain't going to have no guns. Because they understand if they can keep you unarmed, it keeps them in a place of power. How you going to police somebody when everybody around you got guns on them? You can't do nobody in that area wrong. But if none of these people have guns, and if they do have guns, you have the right to kill them now. Because we still see that's happening. So now it could be one cop can walk into a hood full of black people and shoot one down, and ain't nobody gonna do nothing. How you gonna take your issues to the world court as a melanated person when America can just say, fuck you, and what you gonna do about it? How you gonna stop them from coming into your land and draining the resources dry to the point where it's destroying the damn earth? How are you gonna stop them from getting rich off your back? And they understand these things. That's why they've always had quote unquote gun control laws. They always wanted to keep you away from bearing arms, having guns, having the ability to protect yourself. Because in their own words, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free nation. They understand the power that has. They have always said, well, if 3 black people convene together, that is considered a gang and illegal, because they understood how important unity is. Could you imagine unity and the ability to protect yourself all wrapped up in one? Now, me telling black people, go arm yourselves and defend yourselves and your kids and your families, your properties, defend each other, I would sound like a damn terrorist in the ears of America. But the truth is, that's as American as you can get, because that's what America was built upon. It was built on freedom from tyranny from the oppressor. But it's white people fighting other white people for freedom. So this is justice. This is truth. But, you know, me saying it to my people in this day and time is an act of treason. Because the truth is, if you take racism out of America, you have no more America. It was literally built on those foundations. It ain't no way around it. But I think all of my people, my brothers and sisters, we need to know our rights, get to know your state constitution, because that's very important. Get to know your laws around you, and if you can bear arms, bear arms. Protect yourself. Everybody has a right to protect themselves. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Now to our top story in Columbus tonight. 2 police officers and the city of Columbus are facing a federal lawsuit over an officer-involved shooting. This shooting that was caught on body cam. The family of Kareem Jones is speaking out today, saying he was killed without justification by the hands of police. In the body camera video, you can see Jones appears to reach for a gun in his back waistband. The officer fires his weapon, and a moment later, he reaches up with his left hand and turns on his body camera. But the system is set up to record 60 seconds prior to being turned on. We have NBC4's Courtney Yoon with our continuing coverage now from federal court with the details of this lawsuit. Courtney?
Ellie, the lawsuit states Jones was shot unjustly and that he presented no threat to anyone during that time. The family's attorney says that the Columbus police have a history of using excessive force and that they hope that this lawsuit will change that.
The family is seeking justice and reform, and that's why the lawsuit was filed.
Less than 2 weeks ago, 30-year-old Kareem Jones was shot by 2 Columbus police officers and later died from his injuries. Police say Jones was walking between cars, acting erratically before officers confronted him.
I think that the state of Ohio and the city of Columbus has a history of unjustified police shootings and the use of excessive force, and this federal lawsuit is here to address that issue.
The lawsuit alleges that Officer Samuel James and Officer Mark Johnson, quote, conspired with one another to prepare false, misleading, and incomplete official reports.
The statements from eyewitnesses, the video, and other evidence contradicts what the police have said happened in this situation.
Keith Farrell with the Fraternal Order of Police says the officers involved haven't made a statement yet, and that what he saw in the police body camera footage was a man not complying with police and then reaching for a weapon.
This did not have to escalate that way. If he would have complied, put his hands up and stopped right then, the police officers could have removed the gun. If he was charged and arrested, if he was stopped illegally at that point, all those charges would have been thrown out and they could have been held civilly liable if that was the case.
There is no audio in the body camera footage until after the shooting. Jones's sister, Marika Phipps, says the devices were worn improperly and changes must be made.
We have so many unanswered questions about what was actually said in that moment. What triggered the officers to, pull their guns on my brother? What my brother was saying in that moment, we don't know.
We reached out to the City of Columbus and Columbus Police for comment on the lawsuit. The City of Columbus said it does not comment on pending litigation.
And As we've been reporting, CPD officer Zachary Rosen was one of the 2 plainclothes officers who fatally shot Henry Green in June of 2016. A grand jury last month declined to indict either of those officers in Green's death.
Now, we're still combing through the documents of that case. NBC4's Rob Sneed is at the Watch for Alert desk tonight. He has firsthand accounts from what the witnesses had to say happened that day. And Rob, what can you tell us?
Well, Mike, I looked through more than 100 documents and listened to hours of testimony. Now, there are so many different accounts about what happened, but of course we are choosing not to give the names of the witnesses. A chaotic scene following the shooting death of Henry Green.
From what I saw and heard, that the police told him to get down or something, and one of the boys, not Henry, but the other guy had ran.
NBC4 now getting our hands on the investigative records on the shooting death of Henry Green. So many different accounts of what happened. Authorities say Green flashed a gun first, then fired shots moments later. Several witnesses say otherwise.
You never saw Mr. Green with a gun at all?
I didn't see him with a gun at all.
Both Officer Zachary Rosen and Officer Jason Baer claimed they identified themselves as police. Hear what Rosen had to say during his formal statement to investigators.
I pulled my badge out of from under my shirt and had it.
So it was displayed?
So it was displayed on my chest. Silver badge over top of a blue shirt.
According to the records, one witness says that's not what happened.
When I seen shooting coming only from the inside of the car, which were the 2 undercover detectives who didn't have their badge shown when they had hopped out either.
In a recorded conversation with Green's parents, one investigator acknowledges there are multiple conflicting stories out there. He says many of them are false.
Startling new information tonight on 2 stories. One involving a police officer caught on camera seeming to kick a handcuffed man in the head. The other involving one of the most controversial police shootings in years, the shooting death of Henry Green. NBC4 has learned the same police officer is involved in both of those incidents. Good evening, everyone. I'm Colleen Marshall. Mike is off tonight. Tonight, brand new information on both of these controversial stories linked to Officer Zachary Rosen. Sean Lanier has been able to review the entire investigative file for the Henry Green case, just released to us by the police department. But first, Courtney Yoon is live at Columbus Police Headquarters with new information on the video that is lighting up social media. Courtney?
Colleen, neighbors and social justice advocates we talked to today say what they saw in this video was wrong and a blatant use of excessive force.
I am, sir. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
This video was taken early on Saturday morning by a neighbor in North Linden.
I didn't have to kick you in the face like that, did I?
Social justice advocate Kenyon Sola Oye says she believes the officer used excessive force.
The guy was on the ground already. He already had restraints on him. What is the point of continuing to stomp him out on his face? What's the point of that? There is no need. Like, you already got him down. He can't move. He can't do anything else.
According to police reports, the man on the ground in the video is 26-year-old DeMarco Anderson. He was arrested by Columbus police because he had threatened to shoot at a neighbor around the corner from where the video was shot. Anderson was charged with improperly discharging a firearm, having weapons while under a disability, resisting arrest, and possession of drugs, among other things. NBC4 received this statement from the Columbus Division of Police stating, quote, "The action taken by one of our officers does not meet the standards by the Columbus Division of Police. It appears to be inconsistent with the values and training we instill in our officers. The officer self-reported a kick to the suspect while the suspect was in custody." Around 9 o'clock in the evening, Columbus Police sent out an update on the investigation. The officer named in the incident is Zachary Rosen, the same officer who was investigated for the shooting death of Henry Green. CPD said, quote, "Officer Rosen has been reassigned to a non-patrol duty indefinitely." CPD says Officer Rosen is currently under investigation for his actions.
Okay, step over here. When the officer asks you to come to him and talk to him.
But that's because I'm cutting the yard. I'm kind of busy. I'm trying to make my money.
Yeah, but when I saw you, you were going from door to door to door.
Yeah, I'm putting my business cards out.
Yeah.
Look.
Well, see, that's what I'm trying to find out.
Yeah, well,
okay?
yeah. That's all you have to ask. You know, you see me cutting grass, man.
Let me see your ID.
I don't have it on me.
How old are you?
19, sir.
What's your name?
Marvin.
Marvin what?
Gibson.
Date of birth?
10, 12. Yeah, 2012, 99, sir.
$10-12.99?
Yes. Now, what is all this for?
What is all what for?
Taking my name down and stuff.
Because I'm investigating what you're doing.
What do you mean investigating?
Whenever an officer asks you for your ID, you're supposed to provide your ID. If you don't
I'm
have
working.
your ID, I don't
I'm
care
working.
what you're doing.
Okay, can I have your card then? Can I have a card, or you write your name down for me, please?
Or 77, how you check on?
Can I have a card, please, sir? Write your name down for me.
Tell you what. Just turn around, put your hands behind
For
your
what? Hey, nope. Hey, this man, hey, look, this man, look, hey. Look, this man trying to arrest me. It's on camera. Hey, nope. Hey. Look, I asked him for a card, but I got it all on recording. We going to court, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. No. Hey.
You want to come over here?
I asked him for a card for his name. He trying to arrest. Hey, I ain't did nothing. You cannot put me in handcuffs, sir. Put them back in your pocket. I'm asking you. Hey.
What's the problem?
Hey, look.
I'm not understanding the reason that you're not talking on that mic because you don't got nothing to talk about.
Exactly. We cutting grass, sir. You harassing us. We putting cars in people's door.
Put your hands down. Put your hands down.
My hands
Put your hands down.
His hands not up. Give me a card. I need your name.
You can't just because he's black.
Yeah.
That's what you did,
Yeah.
just 'cause he black.
And I'm putting cards in the door right here.
Look,
This all we doing. This all we doing. You don't need my ID. Why are you trying to run my name? I need a card. I need your name.
No, we don't
Get,
need
No, Marcus, no. Look. Cause look, if I don't do something about it, he gonna keep doing it, and somebody gonna get hurt. I need your name. I need your card. ASAP. Matter of fact, nah. You harassing me. Get out my yard, dude. No, y'all harassing me. I swear to God, all we was doing was cutting yards. Move around. Okay. Hey, move around. Get out my yard. All we was doing was cutting yards. Look, dude, I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to leave, dude.
Excuse me.
Leave. I swear to God, they just harassing. You on the phone, Marcus? I swear, look, we cutting yards. He pulling around there. I got the video of that too. I'm glad I got the video because y'all dirty. You up to no good. Why are you here?
Because we need
to talk to you.
I don't want to talk to you. We ain't got nothing to talk about. I don't know you. You don't know me. Matter of fact, leave your card right there. I need your name. I need your name.
You need my information?
Yes.
You're not gonna give me your information?
Yes, because you harassing me. You harassing me. I didn't do nothing. We cutting yards. Why is you and your mans harassing me?
This is the first time
Or get out of my yard then, dude.
No, we
All right,
got a reason to be here.
What's the reason?
Because we need to get you identified.
You don't need nothing. Why? I'm cutting yards. I'm minding my business. You harassing me. They're around the corner. They probably put them in. Look, this dude said, come here so I can put you in handcuffs. I'm like, for what? For what?
Why'd you run from him?
I didn't run from nobody. I came home. I'm minding my business.
It's like you got cameras, we got cameras too.
All right, that's good. I'm glad you got cameras because you're going to look like a fool on your own camera. Bald head, Mr. Clean.
Sir, did you arrest the officer?
I'm not answering none of those questions.
Look, this man is dirty. Y'all need to stop that.
How do you think we got to your house?
Hey, I'm finna close and lock the door. Y'all come through the house we soon. Hey, come in, come in.
All we gotta do is talk to you. That's it.
Come in.
Just talk to you. That's all we gotta do.